Hi everyone, welcome to Yoga with Heini. I'm Heini, and this week I'm going to lead you through a practice that's really easy to follow. So if you're completely new to yoga or you're just looking for a practice that sticks to the basics, this is a great practice for you. Let's get started. You don't really need any props for this week's practice, but if you have a cushion or a pillow somewhere nearby, bring it next to your mat, and in case you want to use it for the seated poses, you have it nearby. We're going to start this practice from lying down. We take a few breaths lying down before we start moving. So bring yourself to lie down on your back, and you can decide if you want to extend your legs or if you want to leave your knees bent. What feels easy on your back? Let your back, your neck, your head relax onto the mat, and bring hands somewhere onto your belly or where you can feel your rib cage. And once you feel settled in, give yourself 5 just a bit deeper breaths in and out. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out either through the nose or mouth. Allowing the inhalations to slide down towards the belly and to the rib cage. With the exhalations, let your body relax. Let go of tension that you don't need right now when you're just lying down on your back. 2 more breaths in and out. Just letting yourself notice how the body feels now. 1 more breath in and out. And then, still lying down on your back, let your hands, your arms extend down next to the sides. And if you have your legs extended, now bend your knees, step your feet onto the mat. The feet could be about hip width apart, or they could be even slightly wider. Knees pointing up towards the ceiling. And we're going to do 5 rounds of the windshield wipers movement. So with your next breath, swing your knees, your legs to the left side of the mat. And from there, swing them to the right side of the mat. And here, just continue breathing. It doesn't matter if you breathe in or out when the legs go out to the side. Just making sure that you are breathing. And we continue. We're coming to the 3rd round. Swing legs to the left. And swing legs to the right. Another 2 rounds, allowing your hips, the whole pelvis to move, allowing your back to move gently. 1 last time, swing legs to the left and swing legs to the right. And then bring your legs back up to the center, and from your back, roll onto your left side, bending both knees to the left side. And from there, bring yourself up onto all 4s, onto hands and knees, so that your hands are roughly under your shoulders and your knees about under your hips. And we're going to do 5 rounds of cat-cow movement. So bringing more movement to the back, hips and shoulders. Now with your next exhalation, as you breathe out, round your back up towards the ceiling like a cat, rounding its spine, and look towards your thighs, bringing chin closer to the chest, and imagine you're tucking your tail under. Breathe in, and then with the next out breath, start to look forward, opening your chest towards the front of the mat. Bring a gentle back bend to the spine. You can think about lifting your tail up towards the ceiling. Same again, as you breathe out, round your back, bring chin towards the chest, and think about tucking tailbone under. And with your next exhalation, again, open your chest, finding a back bend. Think about lifting your tailbone up to the ceiling. You can even look forward or higher up. 3 more rounds. Exhale, round the back. You can bring head down, so you're rounding your neck as well. Inhale there, and the next time when you exhale, open the chest. This is what we call a cow pose when we do a back bend on all fours. 2 more rounds. With your next exhalation, again, round the back. Again, push the hands, push the knees against the floor. And as you exhale again, open the chest. A small, gentle back bend. Last round in your own time. Exhaling round the back, tucking the tail under so pelvis moves as well. And last time, exhale, open the chest. And then bring your spine again back to the center. And from here, we come into pose we call the child's pose. So stand on your all fours, but lean pelvis towards the feet. And you can adjust your legs if you want. You can open knees wider apart. You might bring your feet closer together or the other way around. And then lean your chest, your head down and forward. If it feels okay, you might bring head all the way down onto the floor. Or you could bend your own arms, bringing hands or maybe fists under the head. But trying to find a bit of support for the head so your head could lean onto something, releasing the neck. And feel free to bend the elbows, even if your head is down on the mat. So here we are, gently rounding the back, letting the pelvis slowly sink towards the feet, towards the heels. And then letting head sink down at the other end of the spine. Kind of creating space on the back side of the spine. And that's where you can also send your breaths. Let's take another 3 breaths here. You can imagine the in-breaths moving towards your back, opening that back space. And exhalations, just releasing tension around the hips, along the spine, around the shoulders. Try to keep tops of the shoulders soft. Let's do another breath in and out. And then with your next few breaths, from that child's pose, come back onto hands and knees, back onto all fours, and then bring yourself into a seated pose, into an easy seated pose. I suggest cross-legged pose, and this is where you could use a pillow, a cushion under your pelvis. Because sometimes sitting on something, like edge of a pillow, cushion, or if you have a yoga block, you could also use a yoga block. Just sitting on something might help to release the hips and the spine into a more neutral place. So find a seat where you feel you don't need to tense the hips, you don't feel any pain in the back, but it would be easy to sit. And then we're going to come into another movement for the spine. We're going to come into a twist. So in your seat, bring your left hand onto your right knee or maybe the right thigh. And then as you inhale, lengthen the right arm up towards the ceiling. And exhale, twist to the right and lower your right hand behind you. Maybe it's the whole hand on the floor, or maybe it's just the fingertips on the floor. And with the next in-breath, imagine lengthening your spine up towards the ceiling. With an exhalation, you might twist just a tiny bit further, but don't force your spine. If it feels good in the neck, you might gaze towards the right shoulder. But that's an extra, that's optional. So if your neck gets tense, keep looking out to the side or even turn your gaze towards the left shoulder. Make sure tops of the shoulders could stay soft. We do another 2 breaths in and out in this twist. Trying to keep both buttocks on the mat and trying to keep hips rather soft. And then with your next couple of breaths, slowly release that twist. Come back to the center. If you need to adjust your seat, you can adjust your legs. And then we're going to twist to the other side. So when you're ready, bring your right hand onto the left knee or onto the left thigh. And as you inhale, lengthen the back and lengthen left arm up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, turn chest to the left side and lower left hand somewhere behind you. Again, it could be the whole hand, it could be just fingertips on the floor. And from there, again, as you inhale, lengthen the back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, maybe twist tiny bit further to the left. And you have options to turn the head if you want, maybe gazing towards the left shoulder. Or just keeping neck neutral, looking out to the side, or even looking over the right shoulder. You decide. Make sure it's still easy to breathe. Another 2 breaths in and out in your twist. If it's challenging to breathe down to the belly here, breathe more into your rib cage. And then slowly, as you exhale, release the twist. Come back to the center and just roll the shoulders once, up and down. Before our next movement, we'll do 3 breaths, 3 conscious breaths, moving our arms. So we stay in this seat, lengthen arms down next to the sides. And as you inhale, reach arms up towards the ceiling. You can look up. As you exhale, bring the arms sideways down, maybe looking down to the mat. Same again. Inhale, lengthen arms up. You can look up. And exhale, bring the arms down. And here you can look down towards the floor. Once more. With your own in-breath, lengthen arms up. And exhale, bring the arms down. And you can look down to the mat. Then bring your head, your neck back up to center. And now lean onto your left hand. Walk your left hand a bit further out to the side. Still sitting on both buttocks. As you inhale, reach right arm. Just right arm up. Coming into side bend. Exhale, bend tiny bit further to your left. And that right arm could come over the head. But if that tenses your neck or your shoulders a lot, you could stay in your side bend, but bring the right arm back down. So having that right arm up is optional. Again, check that you still have space to breathe. If you slowly want to go further into side bend, you can walk that left hand further out to the side or bend the left elbow more. Let your neck, your head lean into that side bend as well. Take another breath in and out. And then with the next in breath, slowly lift your back up. If you have that arm up, you can reach it up to the ceiling. And then exhale, release both arms down. Again, you can roll the shoulders. And we'll do that side bend to the other side. So now lean onto your right hand. The right hand can walk further out to the right side of the mat. Then as you inhale, lengthen the left arm up. And exhale, bend just a bit further towards that right hand. So now you're opening the left side of the body. And again, see how your shoulders, your neck feel. If you want, you could stay in side bend, but bring that left arm back down. So your spine is still in a side bend, even if you bring that top arm down. It could be behind the back. And breathe here. Again, you might find yourself going a bit further into that side bend. So then you could walk the right hand further out, or maybe bend that right elbow a bit deeper. And check that you are breathing. Let's take another breath in and out in this side bend. Head, neck leaning into that side bend. And then slowly as you inhale, reach your back up. You can reach that left arm up. And exhale, bring both hands, both arms down. If you're sitting on a pillow, push that pillow aside. And now bring yourself to lie down on your back. Like we did in the beginning, come lie down on your back. We have 2 more movements here and then a short relaxation. As you come lie down on your back, bend your knees so you have your feet about hip width apart. We come into our back bend, the final movement for the spine. Arms down next to your sides. First inhale. As you exhale, press down through the feet, lift your pelvis and your back off the mat. So coming into the bridge pose, the weight is on your feet and your shoulders. Pause here to breathe. With your next exhalation, slowly release the back down, release the pelvis back down. And if you feel that you need to adjust your feet, maybe closer to your buttocks or wider apart, adjust your feet. And we do same again. As you exhale, press down through the feet and lift your pelvis, your back slightly off the mat. So you're opening the front of the hips. And you could think about lifting your chest, your belly up towards the ceiling as well, if that feels okay. Check that you are breathing. With the next out breath, slowly bring your pelvis down to the mat. And we do this movement one last time. If you need to adjust the feet, you can do it. And then once more, as you breathe out, press down through the feet, lift the pelvis, lift the back off the mat. So we are taking spine into a back bend and opening through the front body. One more breath here. And then as you exhale again, lower your back, lower the pelvis down. And then hug your knees into the belly, into the chest. And you can rock a bit from side to side. Breathe in and out. So there's a counter movement after that bridge pose. Now you're rounding your spine. And then with the next few breaths, bring your feet, your legs down, and we come back to that resting pose we did in the very beginning. Again, you can choose to leave your knees bent or extend your legs all the way down onto the mat. We call this pose Shavasana pose. It's our resting pose, relaxation pose that we often do at the end of the practice. If you want, you could bring hands onto the belly like we did in the beginning. But if you feel that tenses your arms, just leave your arms resting down next to your sides. And we take just a moment here to focus on the breath, allowing the body to relax. if you want, you can close your eyes if that feels good. Allow your breaths to deepen. Allow your breaths to slow down. Another 5 breaths in and out. Each exhalation softening effort and softening tension in your body. And just allowing a few more breaths here for you to notice how the body feels now at the end of the practice. Take another deeper breath in and sigh the breath out. And then slowly, with your next few breaths, open your eyes if you have your eyes closed. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Move your hands, move your feet. Maybe circle the wrists, circle the ankles a few times. And then in your own time, bend your knees. And from your back, roll down onto your right side. Come lie down on the right side. And from there, push yourself up into a seat, into an easy seat. Maybe it's a similar cross-legged pose you had before. Take a deeper breath in and out. And if you want, you might bring your palms together in front of the chest at the end of the practice, just to thank yourself for taking this time to bring your body, your breath, your mind onto the mat into your practice today. If this was your first yoga practice ever, well done. I hope you feel good. And I thank you very much for joining in. Namaste. Thank you. Great. Thank you so much for joining in. I really hope you enjoyed the practice. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know how you felt after this practice. And also, if you know there's someone who might enjoy this practice, might benefit from this practice, please share the video with them. It really helps the channel to grow. Thank you again for joining in, and I'll see you next week in our next video. Bye.